Well, for once I can't blame Chinese crap. Although I'm sure I could if I thought hard about it. I noticed that here on my rubber seal retainer, there was a mark here, and that was caused by the outer hinge bolt. So I have ground the top of the outer hinge bolt flat or flattish, and still allowing me enough to bolt it in. For some reason it was more proud, and not having any silly putty or plasticine or blue tack. I've used tape here. I put 6 layers of tape on. With 6 layers I get 1 mark. Let's see what happens if I take that off. Oh, there's almost a mark on layer 5. And there's nothing really on layer 4. So that tells me I've ground enough off of that head, and I can now peel all this crappy tape off, get it out of the way. And now what I'm going to do is take that bolt out of there, and I'm going to zinc plate it, because I've ground the head off and I don't want it to rust. And also, as you can see here, now the paint is gone, so I'm going to have to get my little paint on there and just touch that up so that that doesn't rust. All right, let's get that done. Okay, here we go. Let me make you a strap on. It's bumper time. Now we got the bumpers down there, and we got the overriders there, and as you can see, the overriders are kind of messy, so we need to clean them up a bit and then put them on the bumpers. Let's see, what have I got? Now they're painted inside, and is it perfection? No fucking way. Will it function? Yeah. And that's what it's going to do until I get these babies re-chromed. So let me get something to clean off the crap. And I got to say, this is not something I would normally do, but as I do intend to send these to be re-chromed in the next couple of years, I don't want to spend too much time on it. So we've got the paint here that shouldn't be. And the paint I have used is Pour 15. Pour me. It's a good sealing paint. Yeah, no, you know, I got shit everywhere, so what I'm going to do is go over with the scraper, clean off the large excess areas, which, you know, I did. No two ways about it. Clean that off, get the seal on, and then we'll take it from there. This is not the way I really want to do it, I gotta say, but I need to progress. So this is what I'm gonna do. Gonna clean this shit off. We're gonna put it on the car. We're going to know that in a year or so, when I've sold my ass on the streets more times than I care to mention, I'm going to get all of this re-chromed. Initially, now what I'm doing is just kind of make it look a-okay. Now I'm trying to scrape this off, but I am going to go over this with some cellulose thinners, paint thinners, just to give everything a nice clean up. Some of it, as you can see, is quite excessive, And some of it is just not so bad. And if you find this boring, you know where the fast forward button is, don't you? Oh dear, who made a mess this side, huh? Yeah, and I'm really not too worried about scratching the chrome. As I said, I'm going to get it redone. So for the moment, it's just a matter of making it half presentable. And I think you'll find once I get the thinners on there and give it a quick chrome polish, it won't look terrible. Perfection? Hell no. But although I like to do that on everything, with the expense of rechroming, thanks to government stupidity, this may well have to wait for a year or two, so I can save up the money to pay these poor people that have all these environmental crap things all over them. Yeah. All right. So I've scraped 3. We're going to scrape number 4 now. Again, not a fucking big deal. You don't like this, then fast forward. It's not like this is rocket science, is it, huh? You know, and you can see that these overriders are in a pretty sorry state. Yes, they are. Alright, so now let me get a rag and give them a wipe. I'll be back. Okay, couple of things here. I have the strips here for the overriders. I have the nuts. Now I found these nuts and they were great, but they were nylox, and I've already got a spring washer on there, and I thought, well, that's no problem, I'll just do a belt and braces job, you know, spring washer and a nylock. What the fuck? As soon as I started to tighten up the nylock, when it got to the nylon bit, the bolt spun. Now originally the overrider would have had what I would class as a coach bolt, which has a head with a square shank on it that bites into the overrider. But I don't have those. So, my choices. Go and buy coach bolts or use what I got. Well, I'm going to use what I got. Previously I mentioned that I'd cut the nuts in half so that they don't interfere with the bumper. And now I've got a nice brass washer there. I found some nice brass washers. And a spring washer and my nylock nut, which is not nylon anymore. However, before we can do any of that, we need to get these little babies in. These rubber, I don't know what you would call them, dressage pieces. Ooh, there's a big word. Now, as you can see, it has 2 different defined shapes. This is the side that I would put on the inside. This is the side I would put on the outside. So we grab it and we go, which way around, Gary? And this is the way that I found that is easiest to do it. Just feed it in slowly. And feel it with your other hand. That's what this hand is doing. Feel it so that it goes where it needs to go. And I haven't got the nut on there, as you can see. So I'm gently lifting the main area of the bumper so that the rubber piece slides through. Now it's a little tricky, I grant you. You know, you have to jiggly piggle it a bit, but you'll get there. You can try putting it on there first and then lowering the bumper onto it if you want, but why would you do that? Okay, so it just came off there, and okay, so it's binding at the moment, binding in the marsh. That lock nut, sorry, that spring washer is holding it. So do it without the washers on there, all right? That's what I told you. Why weren't you paying attention? Okay, and then it fell off, so I need to realign it. It's okay. It just takes a few moments. It's higgledy-piggledy-jiggledy. It's not a problem. Almost there. Oh, there we go. Hang on. Yeah, we're out the other side. Oh shit. Sorry, it's just, it's a fiddly job. Fiddly diddly. All right. Have I got it in the right space? Yes. Let me get a light to show you. So as you can see, it is now following the basic contour of the overrider. I'm going to get the one in on the other side, and then we can start putting watts and nushers on. Yes. Okay, got it? Good. All right, I have now fed these two rubber strips down and out, and they've come out the other side. Slip over my washer, and I'm trying to keep the overrider central to the hole. So there we go. And then it's killer time, isn't it? Red Loctite. Oh my god, yes, you're all going to be pooping in your panties. Red, oh no, you'll never get it off. That's the idea. So let's slip that on there. Loosey goosey. And as you can see, it goes all the way down nicely. Right, now, wrong way. Let's see. Gently, gently, gently. Okay, that one's good and tight. I'm sorry, if you can't see what I want you to see, that's tough shit. Okay, yep, that's good. That's good. No, it's not. That's slightly off. That seal is just moved over a bit, so don't worry. We have plenty of time. Red doesn't set that quickly. We need to get it in. Sorry, just bear with. Let me. Hey, it takes time. Alright, so that's now back in there. The other side is still in. Hang on, let's just check. Okay, that looks good there. That looks good there. Alright, let's put you back on my head. I'll give you good head. Only if you're a woman. That's feeling good. I think we've got the lines there right, and I'm just doing this by touch. Alright. So, now that one should be good. Next, this one I've already put in. Again, trying to get it close to center. I mean, are all these things necessary? Probably not. That's just me. Belt and braces joy. All right, let's have a go. Check that the seal is where you want it to be. And the final way to check that is to flip this baby over. Give me a second here. Sorry if you're seeing naked belly. Don't worry, the rest of me is covered. I know, I'm sorry girls, but you know, it's how it goes. And boys that like that kind of thing. Sorry, it doesn't float my boat. Right, here we go. All right, let's have a look. So what I'm concerned about is making sure these seals, they're really not sealing anything, are they? Now that one's slightly off, so I'm going to loosen that, push it in and tighten it. This side, this one, now that's perfection. All right, let me loosen this one off. Oh, I love these speed wrenches. Makes life so much easier. I just push that in, push the other side in because I did note that that was slightly off. Get back on the nuts. Squeeze that in. And there. Now all I need to do is, like I did on the previous bumper, trim off the rubber, and obviously the same at the top. And again there and there. But there is one more. This is the front bumper. So we are going to add the bumper bracket, don't lie to me. We are going to add the number plate bracket and the number plate because we can. So let's just do that right now. Okay, this is quite an historic moment. And yes, I haven't trimmed off the bumper rubbers yet. However, this really is quite historic for me, and I hope you'll appreciate it. It is time to fit the number plate to the front of the vehicle. I have restored this more moons ago than I care to think, and no, I don't have the nuts and bolts ready yet, so that's, you know, you're going to have to be patient. I just want to unwrap this and show you this. This, as you're all well aware, sits there. Now, there probably are some spaces which I will have to make up. It's alright, I'm just trying to find the holes. Oh, there they are. Well, that's interesting. The holes in the bumper don't align with the holes. Do I need to slide it down and put it there? Of course I do, you prick. So there is where the bumper will reside. The number plate will reside. Look at that. All right, so I need to get some nuts, bolts and spacers for that. But the more exciting bit is this. Oh my God, I have had this for so many years. And as you can see, it's well protected, not like me. And it is the aluminium style. And should you want to get one of these, assuming the company is still in business, oh shit, they were in Pennsylvania, York, Pennsylvania. Hopefully you can see that. Now, what is disturbing is I do need to drill holes in this plate, but I'm not gonna, because I'm gonna glue it. Yeah, I can't, in all honesty, draw holes in that beautiful plate. Now, this is the original English registration, CLAE 987B, and I will be putting this on the front of the car. Gosh, doesn't that look gorgeous? And it will sit there. Do I dare put it on before I put the bumper on? Ooh. Ooh. That's a toughie, isn't it? And also, what do I use to adhere the plate to the mounting plate? Unfortunately, I think I'm going to have to stop here, purely because I don't have the bolts and spacers for this, which will go there or there. There's two positions. Lower position there, and the vane lines up with the center of the bumper. Upper position, and it lines up just under this edge. I'm inclined to do that so that this thing doesn't ground. Now, I have the bolts, I just don't have the spacers, so I'm going to have to get the spacers, bolt it on there. Then, what do I adhere it with? I am not going to drill this. I refuse to drill this bumper, this number plate. I would love to know, any of you out there, your suggestions. Now, what I'm assuming is that once these are in place, they're not going to be accessible. Do they need to be accessible? Probably not, but, you know, you might need to get to it at some point. Crap. So what do? What do I do? Oh, brain cell has... I'm thinking maybe if I use a riv nut but put it in backwards, so I put the screw in through here into the riv nut that's in here, as long as I don't exceed this level. That way, should you need to, for whatever reason, take this off with the plate, you can do it. All right, that I know. Yeah, so a riv nut through here backwards, as long as I can get it not to exceed that level. Or do I have to really screw myself and weld some nuts here and then repowder coat this? I think I am going to try the riv nut method and see if I can grind them off at a level area, and then put the plate on here and glue it. So I was kind of hoping I was going to finish this off today, but it's not going to happen. Life's a bitch. There you go. Lovely challenge. I enjoy these little challenges, I must admit. So that's it. It's going to be, let's try, ooh, I'm having another thought here. Rib nuts in the bumper. How would that work? How would that work, Gary, if you had rib nuts in the bumper? If I had rib nuts in the bumper. They would be, yeah, oh, hang on. I could put a rib nut in from this side, but put the bolt in from the other side, and that would hold this plate in position, and I could put a spacer in there, then that would hold everything here, and as long as I don't make the bolt too long that comes through, well, I'd be good. Right, that's it. That's the way I'm going. That's the way I'm going. However, I still need suggestions from you guys out there that are watching this on how to stick this onto the powder coated surface. The best way, because I really don't want it to fall off. No, don't tell me double-sided tape, whatever you do. This is Arizona. Double-sided tape does not last 5 seconds. Do I do liquid nails? JB Weld? Whatever, because once it's on, it ain't coming off. And the only way to get it off will be undoing the bolts from the underside. So, thoughts, suggestions would be gratefully received. All right. I'm going to pump this one out now. Yes, this is my baby's original registration in England, which tells you it's a 1964 CLE. LE was a London registration, I believe. And if old classic car watches my videos, I'm sure he'll be able to tell me where this registration originated from. And if you're there, buddy, old classic car, please let me know. Would appreciate it in the comments. Let's get this done. Okay, it's time to start reassembling the bumpers. Now, I have painted the overriders, and no, not perfection. It's the way it's going to be for the moment, because I do intend to take these to somewhere and get them blasted and powder coated and chromed, etc. But that's a few dollars down the road. So I'm not too fussy about how it looks. I want it to look reasonable, of course. You know, inside here, yeah, it's not perfection. I don't care. I really don't, in all honesty. The next thing I got to do is figure out the rubber seals. Now, there are bolts which currently in here. So I have to figure out, does the thinner part go on the outside or the thicker part? So let's have a look and see what we think. So we start with the thicker part on the outside. Now I'm just going to hold this in place. And you go, well, that looks pretty fucking good. So let's flip it and put the thinner part on the outside. That also looks pretty fucking good. However, I don't know what Mr. Jaguar did, but I think, poisonally speaking, that the thicker part on the outside looks better. And that's what I'm going to go for. And as you can see, with these pieces you get, you get way more than you need. Now, I know that it's going to be a real pain in the ass to line these fucking things up and get them through the relevant holes with the nuts and bolts, because it's a nut and a bolt through here. Yes, I know it's not perfect in here. That's acceptable for what I'm doing. So now I have to grab my little overrider and put it there. Now I have a problem. The problem is, how do I hold the bolt while tightening the nut and washer that is going to be here? I mean, I have the nut, I'm going to get the washer. It's a conundrum. I must admit, I am almost at a loss, because, you know, I can't get in through here, but I need the bolt not to move. Sorry about that. The only thing I can think I can do is to get the bolt in here and just give it a couple of light tacks to hold it in position. The original ones, you know, just looking at this and do understand, you know, this vehicle is so fucking old, I have no clue what it originally had. But looking at this hole, it was shouldered, so it wasn't a problem. Unfortunately, that bolt disappeared in the midst of time. I think what I'm going to have to do is clean this up, get the bolt in position, tack weld it, and get it as flat as I can so that I can put it in. I don't see a choice. Do you? I mean, I can't tack it from underneath. I can only tack weld it from above. And because I don't have the original bolts, they're probably in the Saudi Arabian desert somewhere, I have to improvise, which means I've got to clean this off, tack it in, make it as flat as I can, and take it from there. Life's a bitch, huh? But that's what I gotta do, and that's a lot more work. So let me get that done, and I'll come back to you, because I thought I was just gonna fit these and then fit the bumper, and oh shit, I can't. I've got to do other work. Hey, it's the joy of the job. All right, so I've cleaned these up, pair of them. My next trick is to get a bolt in there and tack it. Whew. And then grind it back so that it's not proud. That's going to be fun. The bolts currently are in that jar, getting their paint off, and then I will have to tack weld them in, but I got to grind them flat, or at least pretty flat. That is something we will have to see how far down I need to go so that I can put them into the slot here. The fact that the bumper curves there might allow me a little leeway. In other words, I don't need to worry too much about getting it level with that surface. It's going to be a bit of jiggery pokery, and we'll see how it goes. I'll bring you along for the ride. This is what you have to do when you're rebuilding a car and you don't have everything that it originally came with. As you can see, these were probably some kind of coach bolt, I would imagine, with edges, flanges, that would allow you to just to put them in there and do them up. But we're going to have to modify, adapt. So let's get to it. All right, as many of you are well aware, I am converting my Mark II from a generator to an alternator, and I am told, so I kind of have to believe it, that I must switch from an ammeter to a voltmeter. I don't know why. I'm not someone that has this knowledge. However, I am reliably informed by a certain person in the Jaguar Enthusiast Club that other people that didn't do that conversion, their cars caught fire. Now, whilst I do find that hard to believe, it is not something I'm willing to risk. So I have purchased this voltmeter, and it is from, I think it's a Jensen, Healy, other vehicles like that. And the reason I purchased it is because it's a Smiths, it's a Volts, and it's down from the top. Well, in other words, the gauge isn't up from the bottom, you know. So now I've got to restore it. As you can see, it looks like a piece of shit. And it wasn't cheap. But finding what you want sometimes. Bend over, here's some KY jelly, smile, you might enjoy this. I have no clue. So, this is the back of the gauge. Doesn't look terrible. Yeah, there's rust. I'll deal with that. And I will take this apart, clean up the insides, clean up this ring. And maybe it'll look kind of purty. Give me a second there. I've just had a thought, and that hurts. You know, when I have thoughts, it really does hurt. So this is the ammeter. As you can see, the outer rings are different. Maybe I can swap this ring with that ring. What do you think? Looks like fun to me. And then what I'll do is I'll clean up and restore this ring and then sell it with this ammeter if somebody wants it. But yeah, the ring is different. I would like them to look the same. Oh hell, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, here we have a collection of clips in, I want to say, various stages. There's these two that are not the color I like, so I'm going to redo them. But all these other clips are for the harness in various points. Now I am using a lot of new harness clips with rubber protection. But that doesn't mean I won't use any of these. I probably will, especially some of these behind the dash. It's interesting to note the different size holes, you know, nice little small holes. Then this clip, which is probably the same size as that clip, but has a big ass hole for a big ass nut and bolt. Same here, you know, small, 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 big ass, medium, 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 medium. And then this one here, which is really special, that I believe holds a 5-way connector. I don't know. I took all of these off, I saved them. I will use reference photographs to make sure I put them back in the right place. There you go, buddies. Fun, huh? Well, here it is now. Nearly complete. Still nearly complete, unfortunately. I'm waiting for this little chrome piece here that I'm asking my Jagnut friend to see if he has one, because I'm converting the center dash from Mark II to S-type spec because I like the wood. So we'll see. If anybody wants to switch it back, all they've got to do is take the gauges out and pull the wood off. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. As you will note, you know, we've got these gauges here, and I got this Smith's gauge, I think was from a Jensen, something like that, because I wanted a voltmeter and not a ammeter, which this one is. Obviously you can tell there's a slight difference, but what's kind of amusing is this one says Lucas, these now all say Smith, so we'll see. I've got to clean up the bezel. That's this little beastie here. Put that on, paint it, and well, paint it then put it on, and then I'll put it out on eBay or somewhere, unless one of you contacts me, you know, gstargarage@gmail.com. Otherwise I'll just put it on eBay. I got the little switch here, but that's no good until I got the little ring and the chrome piece, and I'm waiting for those. Now I've got to go to my store and find out where these pieces are, the indicator, the chrome strip. There is also a piece of green stuff that kind of lights it all up nicely. So let me go see if I can find that. Alright, rear bumper time. As I mentioned before, I'm not getting these re-chromed yet because of finances, but I've got the rubber strips on in position now, and it's a matter of cutting them off. I've chosen a sharp blade here, and I will just slice it flat. Almost there. There we go. And do the same here, keeping it level with the back of the overrider, and that's it, done. Do the same on the rest of it. Simple, huh? Yeah. Then I've got the other strip that I'm going to put on here. I might even glue that on, I'm not sure yet, so give me a little moment and we'll figure that out. Okay, working on the rear bumper. As you can see, I've already got it all painted inside. I've put on the warning disc badge. Let me show you that. Oh, it's upside down, isn't it? Hang on. Yeah, hope that didn't make you dizzy. There you go. To warn drivers behind you that you have disc brakes and they've probably got drums. I got a funny feeling if they are close enough to read that badge, it's too fucking late. Now, the rubber strip that goes here, and remember the bumper is upside down, it has metal clips on it, and I couldn't decide which ones to use. So because I have both sets, and I'll be selling the other set that I have, they're different styles. These are the low profile, these are the high profile, and that's what I've gone for, the high profile ones. I tried soldering them, that didn't work. So I've used our good old friend JB Weld. Now, do you have to fix them? You probably don't. You might get away with it not being fixed, but I wanted it fixed. I wanted it fixed and fixed good. and you have to decide, you know, how far along you bring the point. I brought it probably 1/4 of an inch past that where the curve starts, and I've tried to do that on both sides. This is quick setting, JB Weld, good old JB Weld, but I'm going to leave it overnight anyway. I just don't want to mess with it and have it come off. Then the trick is going to be putting the seal in. I am debating whether or not to try and stick it to the bumper first and then put the bumper on the car. Someone else said on one of the forums that, oh, you can't do it that way, it's terrible. Well, okay, or it's possible, but it's really not easy. And, you know, maybe they're right. Maybe they've done it. I haven't. You note here that we have this mounting bracket here, and on my car, I've actually got it on the wrong place. That goes around there, and you don't need 4 of them. I've got 4 of them on there. I only needed 2, so that's going to be something else going up for sale. These mount directly. I have, as you've seen, the overriders in, and I've trimmed the rubber, and hopefully made it look pretty nice. Again, here the super glued, sorry, not super glued, JB welded on, and again tried to make it as neat as I can. If perchance I put it all together and it looks like shit, then I'm sure I can get this off with a little bit of grinding heat, whatever. And that was one of the reasons when I tried to solder it on, I couldn't apply too much heat because of the chrome. I didn't want to damage the chrome, which is why I gave up in the end. And I thought, no, sod it, JB Weld's good. I mean, and that's pretty solid, but I will let it dry overnight. Okay, or cure overnight. So there you go. That's where we are on this. And we'll continue, well, in the next clip for you, me getting the bumper on, and the risky part is not scratching the paint. So I think I'm going to be covering that in blue tape like I have there on the boot, and I've only put the blue tape there whilst I'm cleaning off the glue that I put in, and that, as you will recall from a video a long time ago. And it's about time I got my finger out my ass and finished that boot seal. So there you go. What more to say? Nothing. Let's get on and get this bumper sorted out. Get it all taped up and get it on. But I want to put the car on the ramp first because I want to do it at a height that's easy for me to use. All right, let's get to it. Dokey smoky. This is the inside of the front overriders. Ignore these, they're just 2 magnets holding it together so that I can do what I need to do. As you can see, I now have bolts in here, and they're as close as I can get them. This one is slightly, the bracket is slightly curved. I don't like it. Shit, I don't like it, so I'm going to have to deal with it because that's not acceptable. It should be straight like this one. All right, let me do that. Sorry, I'll be back. Okay, I've beaten it into submission. And just as a heads up for you guys that are watching my video so closely, the dent here was already there. Okay, so now I've ground these nuts down so that they are below this level here. They were too thick. The original bolts were, I don't know, they had an edge on them that would hold them in place. These ones don't. So now, because I've cleaned everything up and removed metal, I want to protect shit again. And at the risk of repeating myself, which I do often, I put saran wrap, cling film, whatever you want to call it, on the top of pour 15 jar. Why? Because that way I can at least get the fucking lid off. And I just grab these disposable brushes and let's give it some disposable red paint. Maybe that wasn't the right size brush, but oh well, too late, I've started, so I'll finish. And I just want to protect the metal it doesn't need it here in Arizona because we don't get snow and shit, you know. And I'm slapping it on a bit thick, I know that. And I know it's not going to be pretty, but don't forget, this is temporary until I get everything chromed, and that's not until I've got the money. And you know, it's what happens sometimes, you know, with a restoration project, you run out of money. Well, I can't say I've run out, but I've got to spend my money wisely, and that is wisely being spent on new tires, new wheels, an AC system, because I live in Arizona. And I've already spent it on the interior, which cost me a bloody fortune. Jesus Christ. But I do not decry the company that did it, and that is BAS in California. They have done an amazing job. It is absolutely gorgeous. No, I haven't put it all together yet, and yes, that will be a future video. I just wanted to let you guys know that they're a worthwhile company. All right, I think we're now done. I'm just touching up a couple of pieces that I've seen. In here, it doesn't really matter. No one's going to see it, but I'm still able. Right, I've got to go get me some saran wrap for that, and then we'll get back to doing more shit.